Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome to the Hangin with Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't already, go on down and hit subscribe for us. Come back over and over again and see some fantastic authors, artists, filmmakers, actors, creators of all kinds, really. We are here at the 3rd annual Book Obsessed Babes author signing event in Jacksonville, Florida, hosted by Taira Wilds, and we are hanging with Leddy Harper, the author of Silence. Leddy, thanks for hanging with us.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about Silence.
Okay.
It's a bad pun, right? Tell us about Silence.
Silence is about, it spans about 15 years, and it's about a boy who, he witnessed a really horrible tragedy as a child. He was both physically scarred and mentally scarred, and he spent 15 years not talking. He met a neighbor who loved him for him. They started off, it was his friends, and she was his comfort, and then he started talking, and it's just about him overcoming and finding his voice.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty heady stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to dive in right there. Most difficult part of writing such heady stuff. What did you find the most difficult and the most challenging part of writing the story?
The most difficult part of it was what he witnessed, because he was 8 years old when he witnessed it, and it was a very horrible thing for anybody to see, but for an 8-year-old to see. So writing, there was 2 scenes where it was written, and that was the hardest. I did keep it so it wasn't gruesome for people who have a weak stomach, but that was very difficult to write.
And to write it from a child's perspective.
To write it from a child's perspective. That was the most difficult, because I have an 8-year-old, so that was really difficult for me.
Yeah, it would be. What drew you to writing this kind of a story?
I love to write books about things that everyone suffers from, whether it be social anxiety or depression or PTSD or whatever it is, to be able to show how you can come out of that. You can, with love, with help, with whatever, you can learn how to cope, you can learn how to live. And with that one, it was just basically, I got the idea from a show that I used to watch about a guy who could read facial expressions. And that's where I got if somebody can't talk, then they would be relying on visuals, and that's where the idea of a character who can't talk came from, and then the rest just kind of came from there.
It's amazing you said, it's about a character finding his voice, and sometimes that voice isn't here.
Yes.
It's in the way we move our hands, it's in the way we move our eyes, and that's a great, it sounds like a very visual book in terms of, the imagery that it conjures has got to be. It's got to be a lot, but knowing what is on his mind takes a lot. The reader has to see what's on his face.
Yes.
Did you find that a challenge, being such a visual writer, really pouring in the descriptors?
That just comes naturally to me, I think.
Does it?
Yeah, because it's not really anything. I've been told that I don't use enough dialogue, that I use more descriptive words and I paint more of a picture than use dialogue. I try to keep, I obviously have dialogue in books, but I like to be able to paint the whole picture. So I don't really think that using visuals was difficult for me.
That's fantastic. No, that's a gift, because some of us can see it so clearly in our minds, and it's a challenge to paint that picture on the page. I write more emotionally evocative. Kind of think Dickens. The language is to evoke a specific emotion, not a scene. So when I have to write a very visual scene, I have to kind of rewire my brain a little bit. I have to say, okay, turn off the heady language and turn on the tall brown lamp in the corner. And it's a shift in the way you think. So it's a great talent to have, to be able to just do that instinctively. So count your blessings there, okay? And by the way, you're not so bad on camera either.
Thank you.
Okay, you're doing great.
Thanks.
How are readers liking Silenced?
All of the feedback I've gotten has been amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Isn't it fantastic to feel a part of that community when readers come up and I loved what I read?
Yes.
You know?
And it also is incredibly helpful when it's a book that the author is very, very proud of. Because by the time we get to the releasing process, we've read it 15,000 times. You know, it's gone through, we've picked it apart, we have had people rip it apart for us. Like,
and it doesn't matter, 200 pages, 500 pages.
Yep.
At the end, you have read your own work and your editor's work and then your own work so many times.
So many times, yes.
The last book you're ever going to pick up is your own.
Yep.
And my favorite day is cover day, because it's somebody else's interpretation of my work.
Exactly, yep.
So, all right. So, writing this book, what would you say? Is there a specific moment or memory that stands out from writing this book when you just knew you had something? This was really going along.
It was actually in the very beginning of it. It was just the connection that I had with him, and it wasn't any scene that I wrote or anything. It was just the connection that I had with the main character, Killian. And whenever I was writing his chapters, it was effortless and just flowed. And that was that. I'm like, I've got this.
And that is a gift from the universe.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen that often.
No, it doesn't. Every writer will tell you our worst day is the day when you give us a blank page and tell us to start typing.
Yes.
And the best day is when you find the flow and somebody says something to you and you're like, no, go away, I'm typing.
Yep.
Because it's just falling out,
Yep.
right? And so that's fantastic. We're going to put the links for Silenced down below. We're going to put your social media links down there so people can find you, they can bother you, they can stalk you.
I love it.
All of that. So they can find Silenced. And now we're going to move on to the fun part of the show.
Okay.
I call this the clickbait segment.
Oh, fun.
We all know what clickbait is. It's those little headlines that are out there. They make you click and you go over there and you're like, that was not what you said in the headline. I switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some completely ridiculous questions.
Okay.
Most of which I stole from people on social media.
Okay.
And then your real life answer is going to tell us if we have a great headline. It's going to get us like 1 million views.
So is this kind of like you say red and I say the first thing that comes to mind?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
And only here's this is a double blind.
Okay.
I don't get to see which questions they choose.
Oh, fun. Okay.
I do get to decide whether I'm going to read.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to ease into this a little bit.
Okay.
Favorite season or holiday?
Fall in with like Thanksgiving in like the mountains.
In the
mountains.
Geographically even.
Yes.
Fall in the mountains.
I'm from Florida, so there's no season in Florida, so I have to
Amen.
pick a place.
Nice. Any particular mountains?
In North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yes.
All right, good deal. What? I feel like I'm on the dating game sometimes when I look up there because I don't know where they get these. What is your favorite color?
Green.
Green. That was so easy. So, okay, we're going to dive a little deeper. Favorite color that... Describe green if you were talking to a blind person that had never seen it.
There's never seen a color?
Has never seen anything. Describe what green is.
There's a mixture between warm and cool. And it's that space that's like right in between feeling warm and feeling
So like
cool.
Goldilocks is
Yes.
green.
Yeah.
Not too hot, not too cold,
Right.
in the middle.
Yes.
That's nice. I like
That
that.
probably makes no sense.
Yeah,
But I can't use grass
know.
because if he's never seen
Yeah,
grass.
with grass, that's
Then
right.
I can't say a tree because he's never seen a tree.
that's right. See? So it's hard. Sometimes I'm pretty smart. Shut up, World Wide Web. I could be, you don't know. Okay. We asked people earlier what famous or old person or whose ghost, basically, would you have over for dinner? And the answers are okay. We're going to go backwards.
Okay.
Whose ghost would you least like to meet ever? Like, no, I don't want to know.
Like of a famous person or just anybody?
Anybody. Give me your mother-in-law's ghost. I hope not, but either so. Whose ghost would you least like to meet? Just be frightening. Forget it. Don't want it. Not going there.
Probably one of the, like an assassin. I don't
An
know which.
assassin?
Yeah.
No murdering ghosts.
No.
No murdering ghosts. Inspirational. No murdering ghosts. Where are you going to be from here? Where are you going next? More author events? You got events planned? Going home to take a break?
I'm going home to take a break to finish writing my next book, and then
What's the next project? What are you working on?
it's called House of Crows, and it is a 3-generational romance that is 2 parallel storylines.
Cool.
Yeah.
Kind of got that romance and Godfather feel.
It's more of the universe correcting a love that did not happen. If that somehow makes sense, it's not paranormal in any
If they want it
way.
to make sense, they have to go buy a book. That's the whole point here. See, we're getting it. If you want it to make sense, you got to go buy a book.
Yeah, I guess that does.
And that's my shut up card. So I gotta. See that. We're gonna talk about this book where we're working here. As we wrap it up, we're gonna go ahead though and thank very, very much our friends at Something Unique Magazine, the Florida Book News, Wordfire Press, Space Coast Comics, Famous Faces and Funnies, our great, great friends who share these videos all over the World Wide Web and help to grow our audience and grow your readership, we hope. All 5 of them.
All right.
Right? We'll take it, right? 5 books is more than no books. That's right.
I'm happy with that.
I'm GW Pomichter. We're at the 3rd annual Book Obsessed Babes author signing event, Jacksonville, Florida. Thank you so much to Taira Wilds for having us in here. We've been hanging with Leddy Harper, the author of Silenced. So remember, folks, subscribe. We'll wait. Do it now. You give them enough time?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's all you get. Remember, guys, tune in, log on, see who we're hanging with next.